Hey, what's up, everyone? Gonna talk about a bunch of different stuff right now. First, I'm gonna start talking about these primary elections that went down this week. I think it's a joke the way some of these things are ran. I mean, I think it's Washington State and Arizona. I don't think they know how to count votes over there. It's disgraceful. We got some third world countries can run elections better than some of the states in the U.S. Anyways, let's talk about the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. So this is an act that the scumbags in Washington are going to pass a bill to spend, I don't know how many millions or billions or trillions of dollars. Well, that's what got us into this mess with the inflation is out of control government spending. And then that whatever she is, a lesbian, bold dyke, trans testicle, bisexual. I don't know what the fuck these people are, but they fucking sure as hell like telling you about their sex lives. Well, I don't think anyone gives a fuck. Keep your sex life behind closed doors. These assholes want to go and tell small children in the elementary schools about their sex life and I love this and I don't give a fuck who or what you love. Keep that shit to yourself. But anyways, Kristen Cinema, you know, she didn't want to close some loophole on the deal, so they're gonna take that out. And this loophole, I'm not sure of the details. It has something to do with taxing at a lower or a higher rate for the short term or the long term. And I read an article about it and what I gathered, and correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but basically it seemed like she you know, did a favor for her rich campaign donors, these people who are these wealthy investors or whatever the fuck they were. I don't know. You probably think, why don't this guy give us the details? Well, I'm here telling you about it. You know, go look it up if you're interested. You know, that's a big problem today is people ain't doing the research. You're probably saying, well, you didn't do it either if you ain't talking. I did it. I just don't remember the damn article. But let's move on from the Inflation Reduction Act, in which these assholes think they're going to cure stagflation. And I'm sure you all know what stagflation is, at least those of you who were around in the 70s when we had stagnation of the economy. So basically a recession coupled with inflation. And that's what we got going on right now, thanks to a lot of stuff going on in the world, but then also a lot of it is created or at least exacerbated by the dumb shit policies that have been implemented over the recent years by both Republicans and Democrats. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on here in the shithole state of California. Gavin Newsom, who has his eye on the fucking White House. You know, there's talk about a bunch of different people running on the Democrat side because they're trying to get the potato out of there. And they don't want him to run again. So, you know, who if Joe Biden don't run for president, who's going to be running on the Democrat side? So you got the likes of the following people whose names been thrown out there. Everyone from Camel Toe Harris to Gavin Newsom. There's even talk of AOC. Oh, some say she's the only one that could beat Trump. Good Lord help us if that bitch runs. There's talk of Mike Obama, the chick with the dick, or they used to have one. Who knows what's going on down there? And there's all talk about that, well, Oprah Winfrey, racist bitch, you know. And who else are they throwing out there? Oh, the cocksucker, Pete Buttigieg. He ought to shut up and go suck more cock, in my opinion. He's a horrible jackass, and he's supposed to be the transportation secretary. He don't know. Only thing he knows about is moving his bowels so they keep him nice and clear for his husband to shove it right up in there. Anyways, Gavin Newsom signed a bill, and a lot of times I think they give credit or blame to governors for signing the bill. They may have initiated the bill and they signed it, but fuck, it's these assholes in the legislature that passes these bills. And here in California, the scumbags, Democrats, have a supermajority. I don't know what the percentages they have, but it's overwhelmingly Dems. Well, the thing of it is there's more registered Republicans in the state of California than any other state. A lot of people think the entire population here in California is a bunch of nut jobs. That's not the case. There's a lot of conservative folks that live on the interior, not along the coast. It's up and down the coast. It's all nut jobs. And then on the interior are conservative folks. But registered Republicans are outnumbered massively. So that strip along the coast is where most of the population is here. And there's something like 2-to-1. You know, if you have, I don't know how many millions of people live in California, but let's just say it's, I'll just pull numbers out of my ass or out of the air, because there's really not much up in my ass. But you got, say you had 5 million Republicans registered to vote here in California. Well, there's 10 million or more Democrats. And then there's probably about another 2 million or 3 million folks that are not affiliated with either of the scumbag political parties. But Gavin Newsom signed a bill just this week to reduce the penalty for the crime of sodomy with minors. Well, why would you reduce the penalty for that crime? Why would that thought even cross your head? These motherfucking scumbags, ruling class, and they're not elite. They're just assholes. Why would they do that? I mean, with the multitude of problems we got in California, and they're reducing the penalty for crimes. Well, you know, you got DAs up and down the state that aren't even enforcing the laws anyways. But, you know, and the stupid idiots in this state had a chance to recall his ass, and they didn't did it. But that's assuming that you believe that the process here is not totally, completely corrupted, which, you know, I have no idea. But moving on, let's talk about the potato head, Joe Biden. He's got COVID again. This motherfucker got up earlier in the week and talking like he's all macho man, tough guy, you know, about how Orange Man bad. Oh, he had to go to the hospital and this, that, and the other bullshit thing. And that, you know, Biden, he's so tough, right? That guy runs his fucking mouth and, you know, what was it? Corn Pop was a bad dude, but I whooped his ass. And he talking about taking Trump behind the gym and beating him up like he's a fucking 12-year-old or something, or a high school kid. Fucking idiot. Anyways, you know, I don't believe this guy has the fucking Wu flu. I know he's got fucking dementia or senility. I mean, he wasn't fucking smart to begin with. And now he's out to lunch permanently. But they keep locking his ass down because it's probably easier for them to run the show, which they're running the show anyway, so I don't know how much of a difference that makes. But, you know, it's just one thing after another with this administration. You know, we got right now a worldwide buildup in military. I'm hearing different reports. You know, U.S. is, I heard a report of over on Seal Beach here in L.A. that they're upgrading I guess they got a port there where they do repairs to military ships, and they're increasing the capacity there so they can work on more than one ship at a time. You got the shit going on over there with China. You got all the Sweden and Finland joining NATO, which I think is a good thing, but there's more and more examples, countries around the world, military buildup, increasing spending, buying more of this, that, and the other thing. Department of Defense here in this country, buying up all the medical supplies. I think World War III is already underway, but the uh, heavily involved aspects of it are in the future, on the way, probably sometime within the next year. We shall see. On the ledger for the good news, we had Desantis. He just suspended some district attorney over there in Florida that, probably a Soros-backed scumbag. He's not doing his job, and he's not enforcing the laws that, I don't like these laws, so I'm not going to enforce them. I'm not going to prosecute people that commit these crimes. So DeSantis suspended his ass. And, a lot of people are talking about, is DeSantis going to run? I think DeSantis is probably not going to run. He's going to wait and see if Trump announces. And if Trump announces that he's running, I don't think DeSantis will run. I mean, he's probably too smart for that, right? Why would he do that? Piss off the Orange Man bad folks, And so a lot of those people like DeSantis more, but enough of them don't, or probably most of them would prefer Trump in there. And there's talk of Trump picking DeSantis for his VP anyways, so that'd be the smart thing for DeSantis to do, run with Trump as his VP. Trump can only serve 4 more years, and if Trump loses, either way, in 4 years down the road, DeSantis runs, becomes the prez. So that's what's on the good news ledger. Outside of the ledger, let's go back over to the things that these Democrats and this administration are doing to destroy our society, ruin our country, and just screw things up and cause chaos so that the leftists can implement their agenda, because they like to implement things that will cause chaos so that will create an atmosphere that's easier for them to step in and take more power and introduce more of their agenda. So Biden administration, I don't know if they've taken steps to do this yet, or they're just talking about it, or what, but they're saying that they're going to deny any school across the country, or school district, I'm not sure which, but if these school districts refuse to implement their insane, LGBTQ plus or trans agenda, whatever the hell you call this thing, where you got teachers talking to kids about, I'm a man and I love other men, and my husband this, that, and the other, and lesbos up there talking about donut bumping, and love is love, and talking about what's your pronouns and all this bullshit. If the school doesn't run that program, or if the school doesn't allow boys to participate in girls' sports, all this type of, the whole woke bullshit, or if they refuse to teach racism, the CRT crap, the Biden administration is not going to give federal money to these schools for school lunches. So this administration is actively harming the most vulnerable among us, poor children. They're going to deny them food if they don't implement the trans and the CRT agendas. This is just sick and disgusting. Am I a big fan of the federal government using taxpayer money to feed people? I'm not so sure I'm a big fan of that. I'm not saying it shouldn't be done, but I think it's a responsibility of a mother and a father to feed their children. Years ago, I worked for the district attorney's office here in Los Angeles County for the Bureau of Child Support. So we saw cases, and you got, men and women doing this bullshit, right? You got women who have multiple children, and I'm not talking about one or two. Everyone can have we want to call it a mistake or a slip up or whatever you want to call it, once or twice, but case after case after case, I would see these files, and you would have these women, obviously, if you're a fucking chick and you got 10 kids from 5 different men, I mean, hey, I'm all for having sex and having a good time, and if you want to have multiple partners, that's none of my business. But it is my business when you start reproducing and you don't pay for your own children's food and clothing, and you're a shit parent, because that has ramifications for society at large. Now it's sucking the economy dry because you're taking taxpayer dollars to feed and clothe and house these kids because you're on the welfare, you're on the food stamps, and you're out whoring around, not even whoring around, at least the whore gets paid for it. You're just out slutting around, getting knocked up by every Tom, Dick, and Harry that fucking come across. And the man, it's just the same thing. You could go around fucking 10 different chicks and get a kid from each one of them, and some of them 2 or 3 kids. You got 10, 15 kids running around, and you ain't supporting a damn one of them. You ain't a man. You're a piece of shit. And I always used to say this, and people, you're Hitler, right? Because I'm like, well, you have, at whatever the number is, after the 3rd one, and you ain't paying for it, and you're making all us taxpayers pay for your kids, not to mention, you're not raising the kids properly, they're probably going to grow up ignorant, drop out of school, and become a criminal, and now that's even a bigger burden on society. At some point, society needs to step in. It's just like society has an obligation to lock up the criminals, the murderers, get the problems of society out of society. Well, these people are problems of society. You need to snip the dude's fucking, give him a vasectomy, tie the broad's tubes, and be done with it. I'd rather pay for some vasectomies and tubal ligations, or whatever the fuck you call that shit, than to pay for child after child after child. I got to pay to educate them. I got to pay to feed them. I got to pay to clothe them. Now I got to pay for their fucking court fees and incarceration fees, because the likelihood of them growing up to be a criminal, or at least coming in contact with the criminal justice system, you get my point, right? So, anyways, back to the topic about the school lunch shit, right? Now, I'm not sure if I really agree with the federal government paying to feed people in this situation. Let's set that aside. But the fact that that's a well-established policy, procedure, or program that's been going on for I don't know how long, and now you're going to stop and you're going to target the vulnerable children because somebody in that school district's actually doing the right thing. This is the scumbags that are running our country. Speaking of scumbags running our country, let's talk about the FBI guidelines, or whatever the hell they just put out this week. More of this fucking domestic terrorist extremist bullshit. I don't even know the exact words that they used. I'm getting sick of these assholes. FBI, it just needs to be done away with, ATF. Some of these things just need to go and start afresh. But they're saying that they got to keep an eye out on people that talk about or put out on social media or whatever it is. I don't know if they call these like symbols of extremist ideology. They said the Second Amendment. They said the Betsy Ross flag. And they listed a bunch of stuff relating with 1776 and the American Revolution. So these assholes, our own government is saying that people who are patriotic and citing our own history are going to be watched. They're on a terror list. This is out of control. What else we got going on? We got the gas prices. They've dropped for 41 days straight or whatever it is, and you got the black lesbian celebrating, and you got the potato celebrating, and you got the cackler celebrating that the gas prices have dropped for 41 days straight, at a total of 50 cents or some bullshit, whatever the numbers are. And then when the likes of that Ducey guy, one of the handful of decent faux news people, because that whole network sucks donkey dick, you know, Ducey and Tucker and maybe 2 or 3 others, where the rest of that place is crapola. But anyways, people point out to these likes of the black lesbian that what are you celebrating? The only reason is, I mean, yeah, it's gone down for the last X number of days, but it's still $2 higher than when you scumbags took office. And, you know, they don't want to talk about the fact that they got a war on fossil fuels, which drives up the price, which before these assholes were in office, them and the likes of Barack Hussein Obama and all these other leftist scumbags, they openly talked about they want to raise the price of gasoline because they want to force people to stop driving because of their whole climate hoax agenda. I mean, there's video footage of all these assholes out there saying this shit. And I saw a report the other day that they're basically getting what they want. That in the last, I don't know what period of time, last month or two, Americans are driving like half as much as they did a year ago at this time. So, you know, they know what they're doing. This is shit's all, like I said before, it's all intentional. And these people, a lot of them are incompetent, but their policies are intentional. Oh, and then they're gonna start building the wall over in Arizona, and I wonder why they do that. Could it be because the Democrat senator in Arizona is worried about getting reelected? Well, with the recent results of the Arizona primaries, you know, I'm not too sure that this is going to help the guy. But you question the administration about, well, if it was racist, because the same people that Ducey from Fox questions the black lesbian because she tweeted out back when Trump was building the wall, she's saying that the wall's racist, this, that, and the other. When he questions her about, you know, why are you building the wall now if it was racist? Is it not racist anymore? She ain't got an answer. She's such a sorry excuse, you know. And she doesn't even try to answer the question. She just dance around it and read verbatim out of her notebook. She's got to go. She, you know, they keep putting in that Kirby guy, which he's actually like the one guy from the administration that I don't totally have utter disdain for. I mean, he's not too bad on some things. I think he's just, you know, when you put something next to a bunch of piles of shit, that's something that's not a pile of shit actually looks good. But yeah, so they're out there celebrating the fact that, you know, gas prices are whatever they are. They're still like $5 a gallon here in California. Thank God I don't have to drive far to get to work every day. But the other thing that you got the potato head talking about is this, I guess the jobs report came out this week, and he's talking about how this administration's created, I don't know how many jobs this douchebag thinks he created, but you know, when you're coming out of a scamdemic in which the response by the government or the local governments or the state governments was to shut everything down, well, when you start opening everything back, those jobs are going to come back. The bad news is not all those jobs are coming back because not all those businesses exist anymore. But this is all part of their plan, if you ask me, because they got a war on small businesses. They got a war on the middle class. They got a war on everyone but themselves. So, you know, ain't talking about, oh, I created this many jobs. That's the fastest. What? He just ignores the fact that there was a fucking scamdemic for the last whatever length of time. He ignores the fact that the economy sucks donkey dick right now, and a lot of that so-called jobs that were created are because those of us who do work, because there's a lot of people, they got so used to not working and sucking off Uncle Sam's teeth that they just decide they're going to fucking not work anymore. But with the economy in the shits, a lot of people had to get second and third jobs now. So, when the working people, a bunch of them got to get second and third jobs, you ain't creating jobs, Joe. It's because people are busting their asses. They used to work 40 hours a week to get by. Now they got to work 60, 70 hours a week, and they still ain't getting by. Anyways, that's all the topics I'm going to talk about tonight. And let me know if you like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you do. Share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.